Assalamu alaikum and hey y'all. Kerns-Muhammad here, the founder of Imagine You Consulting and the creator of the 5-day business startup challenge. Here to talk to you today about day 2. So, you came back. You came back. Be still, my throbbing heart. You came back. I'm so excited. So happy you came back. It's so wonderful to see you again today. So, how did it go for you yesterday? After those who are taking the challenge, currently in the challenge, after your 15 minutes was up, how were things? Did you still have ideas swirling in your head about the abilities that you have and the things you could do and what you know? Before yesterday, did you realize how absolutely fantabulously multi-talented you are? I have some good news and bad news about that. Good news is you can thank Allah that you have so many talents and abilities that create avenues to bring options into your life. Talked about options yesterday, and remember I said options are absolutely fabulous to have. Options are assets. Hashtag IJS. I'm just saying. Options are a great thing to have in life. Bad thing, now that you are aware of those abilities, at some point in your life, you have to be responsible for them. Seriously. At some point in life, everything that you know and know how to do and can do and are capable of, all of those abilities have to be employed, deployed, some kind of ployed, but they have to be released. That's not my rule. I didn't make that up. That's not something that came out of my brain. So I'm sure you're saying, well, how do I know that? I know it because in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, everything that is on this earth, He created as a glittering show for it, that He might test us, that thereby He might test and prove us. In summation, that means everything that is in us is to be dispensed in this lifetime. It's no good to us after we leave this earth, except for the good deeds that we're able to earn by it, that will go with us or before us into the hereafter. Inshallah. And inshallah just simply means God willing. And I want to help you with that process. Through today's activities, day 2 activities, I want to help you to begin to isolate some of those abilities and then go on narrowing them from the few down to the 2, and from the 2 down to the 1. That one idea that you are able to capitalize on immediately. When you start narrowing, think about things on your list that you find yourself doing or being asked to do often. Things that you may constantly find that your friends and family or family and friends are asking you to do as favors, and you do without grudging or remorse. These are things that more than likely you're already over the learning curve, and you'll learn more about the learning curve as you're going through the worksheets in today's assignment. And that you also have at least some passion concerning it. And in today's email, I gave you a formula for successful ideas that definitely includes ability, knowledge, and passion. And again, you know, more about that is contained in the email that you received. These are also areas that you can easily say there is a segment market or market segment in need of, and that you are obviously solving a problem. And that is exactly what entrepreneurs do. We solve problems. What makes us an entrepreneur? We solve a problem. It may be a personal problem or a social problem, but we solve problems. That's what makes you an entrepreneur. Now, I say think about things that you're already doing, but I also want to encourage you to think outside the box. And to help you do this, in today's email, I shared a link with you to an article about an entrepreneur named Jason Mark, who created a fabulous business on a very unique idea. who knows, you may have a gem like this in your armature of abilities. And so I encourage you, please, 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 go ahead and click that link and read that article, just to show you that, it takes creative thinking. You may look at something one way and, others not even realize that it has the ability to solve a problem, and others are actually in need of that. Moving on, I'd like to mention that, as I mentioned before, that, entrepreneurs solve problems. So I'm going to need you to identify the problem that your product or service can solve. And don't be shy in this area. The more people you can see yourself solving a problem for, and the more people you can see needing your product or service, the more sure you can be that the idea you have will be beneficial. You'll be able to capitalize on it. Let me throw a plug here and say the Facebook group, Sisters Mind Your Own Business and Buddingpreneurs, is a great place to bounce ideas off of others who are also currently in the challenge. So if you haven't done so already, please log on to Facebook and request to join, or join the Sisters Mind Your Own Business Buddingpreneurs group. You can feel free to, ask others in the group if they've had a problem with blank, or, do they feel that X, Y, or Z could be easier if they had this kind of product or service to help with blank. And the blanks are not for you to fill in. You have to identify people who are in need of, what product or service you have to offer. And an amazing thing happens when you can identify that there are individuals who, have a need, have a problem. When you can point to people's pain, they'll easily accept, something to heal or cure that pain. You just have to identify it. So identifying the problem, presenting the problem along with the solution that you're able to offer, man, you are like miles ahead of the game, okay? No man is an island, and no one has all the answers. There's a benefit in picking the brains of those who you don't know and those who don't know you. Typically, we kind of find ourselves, surrounded by individuals whose thinking and thought process and, ideas and the way they see things have been pretty much influenced by the same things that have been, have developed our way of thinking. And so, again, that's a great reason to join the Sisters Mind Your Own Business Buddingpreneurs group, so that you have a whole new slew of people to bounce ideas off and help you see things from another way. Tunnel vision is the enemy of entrepreneurship, and creativity becomes the BFF. Okay, so taking other people's points of view in consideration with thoughts that you have and the way you do things and the way you see things is how creativity is born. And creativity for an entrepreneur is a BFF. It's a best friend, and you definitely want to have it. So again, please join the group. And if you and I are not already connected on social media, I hope that we can change that today. Please visit my website at www.imagineyouconsulting.com. All spelled out, Imagine You Consulting. And you can find me on Twitter with the handle @Ramana-Muhammad. You can find me on Facebook, Ramana-Muhammad. We can connect on Instagram with just_naturally_cute_things with an S. Just naturally cute things. I explained to you yesterday that is my jewelry line. I am a jewelry designer and instructor, consummate entrepreneur. Told you that yesterday. There's a myriad of things I can do. Jewelry and business coaching are my main two, my favorite two. But saying that to say that page is pretty much dedicated to my jewelry. I do share some business inspiration there, but it's an option. Love that word, option. It's an option for us to connect online. And hopefully I'll have a page dedicated to Imagine You very soon on Instagram. Feels like I have been talking forever. It literally feels like I've been talking forever. So maybe I'll stop. Psych, in just a second I will. So, I got you. Today, we'll cover 3 new assignments that build on yesterday's. So, I really, really, really hope that you access the worksheets and that you were able to complete the assignments, because these are build-on activities throughout the challenge. And speaking of worksheets, I'd like to take a moment and apologize for yesterday's snafu with the worksheets. I don't know what happened. I forgot that I had the security whatever's on, and I tried to share the link with the PDF, so many of you could not get it. Hopefully everyone has gotten it by now. I haven't gotten any more emails indicating that people are having trouble accessing them, but I hope that everyone has been able to get them and that you have completed them so that you're prepared for today's assignments. Now, unlike yesterday, today's assignments are at your own pace. All 3 of them are at your own pace. But like yesterday, I do encourage you to, not overthink things. Don't frustrate yourself through overthinking. Spend some quality time answering the questions, but don't overthink it. Don't frustrate yourself. The first assignment, first exercise will be isolating 4 activities from the list that you created yesterday. And typically these may be the first 4 that you thought of, or those on the top of the list, but not necessarily. Instead, focus on activities or pulling out ideas that are things you have knowledge of and concerning and things that you actually like to do. Next, consider the list of 4. Considering the list of 4, you will narrow it down to your top 2 ideas, and you'll find the criteria to help you do this in the worksheets that you receive in today's email. And finally, you'll identify the problems your product or service will solve. And when thinking about the who, I want to encourage you to think outside your circle. Don't necessarily think about your best friends. Don't think about Aisha. Don't think about Bonquisha. Don't think about Mark. Who is Mark? I don't know. But I want you to think about market segments. Think about little old ladies with canes, and teen moms, and single dads, and people who like to eat but just can't cook. The more individuals and groups that you can identify your product or service will help, assist, solve a problem for, the more you are guaranteed that you have an idea that you can just hit the ground running with. So with that said, welcome to day 2. You should find the worksheets you need linked in today's email. And I will look for your request to join the Facebook group, Sisters Mind Your Own Business, Buddingpreneurs. And hopefully I'll see you back here tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum and bye.